We're going to do this in two parts. We're going to dissolve our silver in the jar first, and you want to use distilled water. Don't use anything but distilled water. Do not put any salt in your water. That will turn your colloidal silver into the kind of silver they develop film with, and will actually turn your skin blue. So you want to make sure your jar is full about 1/4 inch from the top of the jar. And I have an old vinyl squeegee here. This is what I use to hold my silver in here, and you want to use silver that is 0.9999 silver. And these are actually both of these together were a troy ounce, and I just pounded them out slowly and heated them up and pounded them out until I got this form right here. We can make another video on that another time. Stick, you want your silver about, I'm gonna say
1/2 inch,
just over 1/4 inch or 2 or 3 centimeters apart.
Centimeters are big, so millimeters.
Millimeters, but if you look, this is how far apart they are.
Oh, that's about a centimeter.
Yeah. So, and you don't want your anthode or cathode to touch at the bottom like this. It'll short out and it'll ruin your silver. They're not cooperating today. Okay, there we go. So you see they're together. And then I have some alligator clips that I pigtailed them all together. I just use that to hold it in there. You put this down into the water, and then, like I said, I use my alligator clips to just kind of hold my squeegee up. And then I use this is a Kodak. It comes from a printer. It is 36 volts DC. So you want to, once you plug it in, you don't want to touch these together. I mean, it will ruin your transformer. So just FYI. So I'll plug it in, and then you'll hook positive to 1, and you don't want your alligator clips in the water, because then you'll be dissolving iron into your water. And over here I hook to the other one.
Honey, I need to be able to get this on film.
Well, I need to be able to see too. Okay. And as soon as you hook them, together and it's plugged in, it's working.
The red is on the other one, on the other side.
Right. And they're just going to adjust it a little bit here. That's good. Okay.
So the silver's not touching in the jar. You have a black one, the black one plugged into one coin, and the red one is plugged into the other coin.
Yes.
And these here
are just holding.
They're just holding this up, and you can use cardboard, whatever you want to use.
Yes. You don't have to
make this.
You want to use something that's not conductive.
Non-conductive.
Right.
To hold your silver in place.
That's correct. I didn't plug it in, so here we go. There. And I use a flashlight to check to see if it's working. Did I even plug the right one in?
So what are we looking for?
We're looking for one of the electrodes. You should see like smoke coming off of it.
Smoke?
Well, it's not smoke. It's just silver being dissolved into the water. I don't see it yet, so let's give it a few minutes.
So it should maybe bubble on the coins?
Yeah, if you look down, you can see it.
Are they starting to...
One of them's working. It's the red one. If you look over here.
The one on the left is working.
Can you see the cloudy water? I can see it from right here. Come look at it from this direction. You see how cloudy the water is?
I think so, yeah.
That's
It's like looks like a little film on top of the water.
Yeah, that's actually the silver.
Okay, yeah.
Coming off.
I can even see some bubbles.
Yeah, that's the silver coming off one of the electrodes into the water.
Okay.
This is the first part, and you want to let this run for however long it takes for your water to get cloudy. And I use a plastic straw to kind of stir it up a little bit.
Okay.
So we gotta let this run for a bit.
And then what?
And then we're gonna put it in this pot of water here. I have a trivet in the bottom to keep it off the bottom, and I use an induction top. That way I can control the temperature of the water. And I usually set it to just under boiling.
Was it not 190?
190 is usually what I go with. And then as this water heats up, it heats that water up. And that's when the water will turn from foggy to golden. You want it to be a golden color, like a
brownish gold color.
Almost a root beer type color. Not dark like dark, but it'll be a goldish root beery color. And that's because the silver is in when it comes off these electrodes, it's really big, and the heat kind of melts it down in the water and turns it a golden color. And that's, once it turns golden, you're done. All you got to do is pull it out, let it cool off. You can use it for itchies, you can drink it.
How long do you let it sit here like this?
Well, that's your preference. I mean, depends on how.
The longer it sits, the stronger it is. The more silver that's going to be in the water.
The more parts per million. The cloudier this gets, after it comes out of here, it'll be more parts per million. The stuff you buy in the store is like 5 to 15 parts per million, and it's still really clear. This is way stronger than that. I mean, it works way better. So if you look now, you can really see the cloudiness.
All right, let me try to get in here without making people dizzy. No, that's not. Yeah, okay, yeah, I think you can see how much cloudier the water is.
Yeah.
So that's silver dissolving off of your coin
To the water.
into the water. All that cloudy stuff.
And like I said, as long as you don't use salt in your water, it's perfectly safe to drink. We've been drinking it for years. My skin's not blue.
Right.
We use it with a towel on your skin. If you have a rash, it'll clear up your rash.
Just let it soak for 20 or 30 minutes.
Let it soak.
I'm using it right now to clear up an issue.
With this way, you spend $30 to $40 for silver, and you have enough silver for the rest of your life.
Yeah, because you can't even tell the coin has been
It's
altered in any way. I mean,
can't.
it's still a full coin.
It's still a full coin. What comes off your coin is minimal. I mean,
Yeah.
And if you alternate your red and black every time you use, it'll be an even.
Right.
And once you're done with these, let them dry. Just clean them off in the water. Put them away for next time. I wrap everything up in one little box.
And how long do you let it sit in the hot water?
I let it sit in the hot water till it turns golden.
You just
brown.
look at it.
Just watch it. And it'll just turn
Right.
golden brown. It'll be cloudy one minute. You'll come back next minute and it'll be gold.
So, and then you gotta store it.
Store it in preferably a brown jar. If you don't have a brown jar, store it in a cabinet where it can't get any light, because the UV light kind of makes the silver go bad. And I wouldn't store any of it like you would do food storage, because it doesn't last. It goes bad after a while.
Yeah, you need to use it.
You need to use it up and just make it as you need it.
Make it as you need it, use it, and keep it in a dark, cool place if you don't have a dark jar or bottle to keep it in.
That's correct.
Okay.
And that's it.
Pretty easy.
It's not hard. You don't have to have a degree in science to do it.
So a little bit about silver. Silver is nature's antibiotic. Okay, so the term "born with a silver spoon in their mouth" that came from the early, I don't know, 1800s, 1900s, where the rich people could feed their babies with silver spoons, and because of that, their infant mortality rate was way less than in the poorer classes, because of that antibiotic nature of silver. And so a lot of times in the Old West, I guess, or I don't know, but they put a silver coin in the bottom of their rain barrel. And just by doing that, it killed off anything in the water that might have been bad for them and made their water drinkable.
The way the silver works in your body is you have a virus or a bacteria, and the bacteria is only so big, but the silver in your bloodstream is really big, and it sticks to the virus or the bacteria and actually smothers it. And it's amazing how it works, because it kills everything bad in your body. And all the good stuff in your body, it doesn't bother.
So you could drink an ounce a day, you could drink a cup a day.
You do need to know if you're allergic to metals first, because we have a friend that's allergic to metals, and he can only do so much. This is how I stir it up. I just stick a straw in here and just.
Oh yeah, you could see how, I don't know if you could, well, it's a little late now, but I mean, that cloudiness is getting more.
And if you have a laser, you could shine the laser through the water, and when the water is clear, you can't see the beam go through the water, but as it gets cloudy, it'll get darker and darker and darker.
And you'll be able to see the beam travel through the water.
Yeah, because
that's really neat. If you like science, this is a great science project.
Yeah, it's a great science project. And you want to keep an eye on your anode and your cathode, and make sure you don't get silver buildup to where they touch, because if it goes without being supervised, it could build up silver and short out in the water, and you don't want it to short out.
So when you say build up silver, what do you mean by that?
Well, the red one is putting silver into the water, and the black one is taking things out of the water and collecting on one. So it's happened before, where you get big chunks of silver in there and it collects on the other one, and they build up and touch each other.
And you're still talking a molecular level, not so much a big chunk, like you're not going to see it.
When I say big chunk, they're microns apart. So I mean, we're talking really, 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 really small.
Okay. Well, and silver's been known to cure or help with a lot of things, and you shouldn't have any fear of using this, because if you do it right, It's not going to be a compound element or anything. It's just
Right.
going to be silver.
So when you
That's
put,
why you don't want to add salt, because
you-
salt changes.
right, it goes from being colloidal silver to a silver compound.
Yeah.
And the silver compound is what will be bad.
Yeah, so just use distilled water. Make sure if you have a, what do you call that instrument that measures metals?
A TPS meter.
A TPS meter.
It
you
measures
check.
the-
Just
it
make
actually-
sure it's just water.
It measures the salts in the water, and if you just get a gallon of distilled water, it'll be 1 to 5 parts per million. That's perfect.
Yeah,
Usually it's from the plastic jug, not the water.
right. And yeah, and just let it do its thing.
Yeah, and I'm doing it this way so that you can see how this is being done. Because typically, I put all this in here and heat it as I'm doing it.
Okay.
This is.
Well, let's go ahead and do that then.
I can't move it now.
You can't move it now.
It's
Okay.
wired.
So normally we took it out of we put it here so we could see what was happening. But normally Joe would
I
put it
would put it in here.
in the pot and do it all at once and
Right.
warm it up as it's doing stuff.
And you can do it either way.
You could do it either way, but it would save time, I
It
guess.
saves time
if
doing
you
it the
just
other
put
way.
it in there.
I would put my jar in here, turn this on to 190, let it start warming up, get all my silver cleaned off, my alligator clips ready, and then put them down in there. Make sure you don't have anything draping down into the water, either water. And this is just regular water, right out of the spigot.
Yeah, right out of the spigot.
You want to make sure that you don't get any of this in there. It's okay to get that in this. And I would probably fill the water up to about right here.
The water in the pot.
In the pot. That
Up
way
to about that
you
level
don't
there.
have any chance of water.
So yeah, so you don't want any water from the pot going into the jar.
And you always want to be careful when you're dealing with glass and heat. You want to heat both waters up together. You don't want to put your jar in there that's hot and pour cold water into it. You'll
Right.
break the bottom of your jar.
Yeah, you don't want to lose your jar and everything you've just made,
And
so.
I've done that before
And we've
too.
done that before.
You think you're doing good, and then you go to pull your jar out, and it gets right here, and the bottom falls off right into the.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. All right, well, Joe, you want to go grab that product, that end product? We
We've
probably should
already
have had.
made some.
We probably
I'll
should have
show
had
you
it
what it
on
looked like.
hand. We don't have to go far. Our apartment's very small. So he took it out of the pot. It wasn't this dark.
No, it
so
got- it actually got
it
darker.
kept working
Yeah.
and got darker in the cabinet.
And that's like a root beer.
And
It's actually probably a little bit lighter than this.
what do you think the parts per million are? I mean, this is good stuff. They have Department of Defense studies showing that. Quit moving.
Gotta get back over.
Oh right. Well, showing that colloidal silver actually took care of Ebola. So, I mean, you want to do your own research. I don't know what the world has in store for us, but we feel like silver would be an intricate part of any medical repertoire that you might have, and it's
You can-
easy to make.
You can buy, it's called Silver Lungs online. That's all I know. It's called Silver Lungs. Do a Google search on that, and they sell a whole kit. Comes with the little magnetic stir, the silver rods, the cork, the hot plate, all that. But I'm not the kind of guy that's going to spend $400 or $500, $600 on something when I can look at it and figure it out for myself.
Yeah. Is there any kind of special pan that you need? Just one that works on a conductive?
Yeah.
You could do this on the stove as long as
It's much harder
It's
on the
much
stove.
harder because you can't really regulate the temperature of the water.
I can turn this on.
You have to plug it in
Plug it
first.
I can turn this on and just set my temperature and hit start, and this in conduction will make the bottom of this pan 190 degrees. and you can put your hand. This is a wonderful thing. I think everybody should have one.
Yeah, and you can touch it, and the only thing getting hot is that pan.
Yeah, you can do chocolate on this. Set it to the temperature of the melting chocolate, and it
that's
just
so
melts
nice.
it. It's really
So nice.
Yeah, so I just put it on there and just let them do their thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, do your own research. You know, we're not medical doctors. We're not.
As always,
You
don't take my word for it.
Don't take my word for it. Do your own research. Make your own choices. You know, this is something that Joe and I do, and it's helping I get a lot of skin irritations, and I just soak it, the spot on my belly or wherever that's got an irritation, and within a few hours, it'll go away.
Yeah, your calf, your ankles.
Yeah.
Got infected with that DEET.
Yeah, years ago I went to a Boy Scout activity and they said, hey, the chiggers are really bad this year. You might want to spray your ankles and whatnot. And I did. They had a bug spray and had DEET in it. Well, I don't know, I had a really bad allergic reaction. And I scratched my ankles till I got cellulitis. And I was suffering from this for a year.
Yeah, finally we had
a year. It discolored my skin, right down by my ankles, and it wouldn't stop itching. And we tried everything, and Joe finally made some silver, and I sat in a chair, and he just put a paper towel on my ankles and soaked the paper towel with the silver that he made. And how long did it take?
It was like
a couple of days. Of sitting there for about 20-30 minutes soaking. So about an hour of soaking altogether. And
I'm amazed at how
it was gone.
How well this works.
My ankles haven't itched since. And so what a blessing. Anyway, so that's our testimonial. So you guys do what you feel like you should do for your families. And we'll talk to you soon.